The Opera House by John L. O'Hara. The old Waynesburg Opera House is gone forever, and in its stead a new, entirely modern motion picture palace will be formally opened Thursday evening. The date, for the convenience of future historians, should be recorded as being November 9, 1939. Even though the theater, which operated since 1901, is gone forever, so far as its physical properties are concerned, the memories and traditions incident to the former theater are imperishable and shall live in the minds of its patrons as long as they themselves are still alive. These physical properties, the fly gallery, the drops, the wood wings, border lights, flat scenery, and props, including that old-time Venetian street scene, are all gone. They were all symbols of the heyday of the pre-movie era when the roadshow business was in its greatest glory, and Waynesburg was known from coast to coast as a good show town. Many of the traveling companies carried a tremendous amount of scenery, which was shipped to Waynesburg on the old W&W Railroad and hauled from the station to the theater on a specially constructed scenery wagon, sometimes requiring 4 teams to haul it. Men, women, and children would follow the wagon to the theater to watch them unload it. As though it were only yesterday, some folks can still recall the glamour, the enchantment, and the tingle of electric excitement which gripped the entire town that January night back in 1901, when what was then also known as the new Opera House was formally opened. The opening was a gala event and presented the then famous Howard Kyle in the production Nathan Hale. Out of the inner recesses of his memory, Mr. Judson Bell, who was closely associated with many of the actors when they visited here, has recalled some of the more outstanding personalities. Among them were Eva Tanguay, the famed I Don't Care gal, who appeared here in the play of that same name and who shocked the townsfolk by smoking cigarettes while sitting in the lobby of the old Downey House Hotel. There was John Gilbert in The Mummy and the Hummingbird, Mildred Holland in The Power Behind the Throne, a play from which many politicians of the day gained practical ideas, and Porter J. White in Faust. Edward Blondell, father of the movie star Joan Blondell, thrilled the audience in his appearance in Through the Center of the Earth, and Tyrone Power, father of the screen star of the same name, was here in The Prisoner of Zenda. Among other early-day productions seen here were Miss Bob White, a great musical comedy in its day, Mamselle Hawkins, a daring girl show which all but ruined the social standing of young men about town, and the standard tearjerkers such as Way Down East and East Lynne. The annual visits of the companies presenting Uncle Tom's Cabin continued to pack him in from the orchestra to Peanut Heaven. Many of the Opera House's most colorful chapters were written during the annual visits of the old-time minstrel shows. Some other notables included President William Howard Taft, William Jennings Bryan, Bob Fitzsimmons, the former heavyweight champion, the original Tom Thumb, Geraldine Farrar, and the late Will Rogers. The visit of Rogers was made in April 1926, during the period of sadness following the Downey House fire, and as a result the attendance was sparse. When first-class plays with famous stars were presented, the audience went formal, and theater parties after the show were tops among the social set. Prices of admission ranged from 25 cents in Peanut Heaven, second balcony, to $1.50 in the orchestra. The most stupendous production ever produced on stage here was the Schubert's Blossom Time musical comedy from Broadway. The price for this attraction was $3.30 in the orchestra. Former Waynesburg postmaster J. Walter Mannell was the first manager of the Opera House when it opened in 1901 and remained in charge until the First World War period when Charles Sylvius took control of the theater. It was possibly during this period that the motion picture screen was installed. Mr. Sylvius retained control until 1923 when it was acquired by Alpheus Miller, who booked a number of top-line road shows and individual stars such as Will Rogers, Paul Whitman and his orchestra, Geraldine Farrar, and DeWolf Hopper. In 1929, Mr. Miller disposed of his lease to Larry Puglia and his brother-in-law, the late Frank Pictionary, of Brownsville. Mr. Pictionary died a short time later, and then the business was directed by the present owners, Mr. Puglia and his sister, Rose Pictionary. It was during their management that talking pictures were first introduced. Now the theater has been completely refurbished and is once again the new Opera House.